Hi everybody, nice to see you, nice to see some familiar faces. I'm Callie and this is Karin from the Huntley Swift Group. Just quickly I thought I'd mention our new name change. We've kind of highlighted it everywhere we can, haven't we? We're going to get a new logo and we're going to eventually end up as NESBReC, which I think will probably, yeah, original. No, I think it'll probably fit in with a lot of the groups in the area and it'll better reflect our area of coverage, I think, which is pretty much the NESBReC area of coverage there. We're actually in our 6th year now. I was never very good at maths. We're in our 6th year, just about. So we just thought, instead of rambling on about Swift, as I usually do, I'm going to do half and half. I'm going to try and keep my timing good and pass over to Karin. We are primarily a Swift group, but we've done more and more with swallows and house martins now, confusion species, so we must protect them equally. So Karin is our Swift, our swallow and house martin lady, more or less, aren't you? So I'm going to hand over to Karin halfway through for some of the projects that we're doing for them. So instead of rambling on about Swifts and the habits, I'm going to do some slides on the work that we're doing to help them and how important it is to record your nesting site. If I get this right, okay. Swift conservation, key steps really. One and the very most important step you can take for swifts is to retain the existing nesting colonies that we have around and about. So this is key to ensuring the continued breeding success of long-term and historical swift colonies. Generations may have been breeding in the same building for hundreds of years, and if we break that breeding life cycle there, then we lose our swifts. So the key is to retain these existing colonies, so we need a survey of nest sites. And then secondly, to provide new nesting opportunities. So additional provision is vital to mitigate against further nest site losses and to enhance the already established nesting and breeding colonies. As you can see there, swifts have suffered a 63% decline in the last 25 years, and as you know, you will know they were red listed in 2021, along with house martins. So how do your records count? I've just put this up here rather than reading it off my paper, but so aerial sightings, birds present, single or in groups. These records are really useful. They give us an idea of where they might be feeding or nesting or just passing through. However, to protect the future for swifts in our built environment that they rely on so much, it's the nest sites that we really need to find out about and record them. The reason for that is this will allow us to focus on recorded areas for mitigation, provision and further surveying. Nesting records can prevent losses due to building repairs within the breeding season. Nesting records can also offer proof of breeding activity in a dispute situation. And records should be referred to by anyone involved in the prior planning or surveying process and referenced alongside any required species survey. It's still not a legal requirement to survey for swifts in a building for repairs or demolition. So these are just some of the projects that we're working on, coming off the back of records and stuff like that, just to show you what different things we're getting up to all the time. So this is number 30 in Huntley, listed building, category B listed building, and to the right you can see the some of the nest sites that I recorded over 2017 to 2020 really. There's 7 on the front of the building, 1 on the side. When I found out that the building was getting renovated, pretty much rebuilt, I put forward a proposal to Huntley Development Trust for this, and the rest is history really. So scaffolding and wrap was put up in 2021 after the swifts had left, and we put up some external nest boxes in the like for like for the original nesting sites. We popped them on the top of the scaffolding to give them an option there. There's so much to tell you about this project, but I haven't the time to do that. Just to the right of that is an interesting little nest site that we found when the gutters came off. You can see where it's situated from the picture above on the white part of the building, and that swift nest site actually only measured 200 by 100 millimetres or thereabouts. Oh, and by the way, we're just busy at this very moment in time, we're busy reinstating those 7 nest sites on the front of the building as they were. and we're also adding another 8 down the side of the building. So when that's done and they come back, hopefully they'll have their accommodation ready to go. Another mitigation project, this is another one I love to work on. They're so interesting, the old buildings. There's no one size fits all solution for them, and I find them fascinating. Distilleries is another one that I like to get involved with if I can. If anyone can help with some more, getting more distilleries interested, I'd be grateful. Swifts love a distillery, they love to nest at them, but they're getting renovated very, very quickly and more regularly these days, and they will be losing lots of swift nesting sites in the process. So this one, 3 nesting sites surveyed in 21, 3 more in 22, got involved with Edrington, the owners of Parkmore. They got a volunteer day together, made 14 external boxes, which they fitted onto the warehouses on the site there. So we've actually got a mitigation and a provision project here. So the Swifts will return to their accommodation. Those sites will be recorded with the distillery departments, relevant departments. So if any works are done in the future, they will be lodged. And we'll also have a call system running to attract the Swifts and enhance that colony on the warehouse buildings. Church towers, these are provision projects really, so we've done a few of these. I'll just race through these. We've got to the left here, we've got Fochabers Museum. They've got 21 bespoke nesting chambers behind the Louvre on one elevation. You can see the boxes just above there. And we've got a call system as well on there. So if you go to Fochabers Fish Bar while you're waiting for your chips, have a look out the window and you'll see maybe some swifts in the summer. Moving along, we've got Monymusk, 12th century church here. That's the cherry picker taking the grills off the front of the Louvres. We've got 4 nesting boxes behind the Louvres on one elevation, and we're hoping to put another 4 in due course. They again have got a call system as well, so we're needing people to look at all these things and watch for the activity in the summer as well and record it for us. That would be handy. Moving along again, we've got Holy Trinity Church in Keith, and we've got 12 nesting chambers behind their Louvres on 2 elevations and a call system running. So we're hoping for swifts to come, because the Bishop of, let me get this right, the Bishop of Murray, Ross and Caithness, you can see him there. I love this picture. He has blessed all the boxes for us, which I think is delightful. I haven't told the Swift yet, but they will know, they'll get to know about it. And then the last one on the right is West Church in Inverurie. We're going to start a project with them as well. So we're just into just to the measuring up stage to help the Inverurie Swift population. And then another provision project. These are all just different ways we can provide for Swifts with the knowledge of recordings. So top left, we've got the Colesmith Properties in Huntley. They've got a small housing development there, and they've got 12 Swift integrated Schwegler Swift bricks in their houses there, which look very neat. I think you'll agree. To the bottom here is more Vivara Pro integrated Swift bricks here, and they're in Huntley. And that's, as I say, working with Aberdeenshire Council on this one, and again Aberdeenshire Council on these other ones here. Wood Creek boxes in the middle there in Inverurie, along with a soffit installation as well. And then on the right we've got a housing development in Ellen with external Wood Creek boxes on there as well. So there's lots of ways to protect these swifts, and really until we start doing it as a matter of course, unfortunately it does rely very much so on our records and inside knowledge really. So my final slide here before I hand over to Karin. Be inspired. I hope you have been inspired by these projects, and it's given you an idea of what we get up to 24/7, isn't it really, for us? We work on these things all the time, and well, we love it really. So if you get in touch if you want some general advice, survey guidance, if you're doing a building project or you know someone who is, get in touch with us on that. Mitigation support, we can write up guidance documents, and all our advice and support is free. Also, one other thing, anyone in Aberdeen who we're wanting to put on a survey evening for Swifts in Aberdeen. We don't kind of manage to get that way too often, so we would like to pick a spot in Aberdeen to do some Swift surveying, so you can actually learn how to recognise the nesting sites, because they are a little bit tricky. You can't be sure they're nesting, but by the way they behave is how you would confirm that. They're just a wee bit different to everything else. So if anyone's interested in coming and joining us on a date, on an evening, come and see us at the table afterwards, and we'll get a date together and do that. Thank you very much. I'll just hand over to Karin for some house martins and swallows. Thank you.
I enjoy doing that. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. Thank you very much and welcome. Is it this one? Yeah. That's it. Just something really quickly from how important it is to spread the word and why we do it and how we are doing it. Obviously, why is probably all very obvious to everybody here in the room. As the Bird of Conservation Concern report came out in December 2021, to no surprise, the swift and the house martin both got red listed, and as you can see here, we've showed some figures of the decline. But make no mistake, that even though the swallow was still green listed, you can see the decline at 31% between 2008 and 2018 doesn't promise much good for this species either. All of these species are building reliant species, so they are nesting on our buildings. And there is obviously a few house martins around who are still nesting on natural cliff sites, but mainly they rely on our buildings. So there will be a lot of natural nest sites because of new builds going up, which do not provide for the species. So we need to enhance the breeding opportunities and need to raise awareness, because we were surprised if we are at an event and talk to people that many people do not know in how much peril these species are, because they keep saying, oh yeah, but I saw lots of them. So they are not aware that these species are in decline. And obviously the importance of citizen science records, and that's why we're all here. And how are we doing it? Well, we have a Facebook and an Instagram page. We are now writing our 11th quarterly newsletter. So if you are interested in what they look like, come and see us later and sign up. Next week we're on our 14th school visit on the primary schools in Aberdeenshire, mainly, but there is one in the picture from Murray as well. So it's where we advocate the conservation, obviously, of swifts and swallows and house martins. We attend community events. We were at Murray Loves Nature last week, and we also attend events like this where we do our talk and inform people. Walks and talks, we had 37 in total since we started, and along the swift ones we also have the swallow and martin ones now. Karin has just written the 20th magazine article, so which will be published soon. And we do online seminars and workshops, including a survey one for the last 2 years for NESBReC. Karin has also done 2 interviews for the Out of Door programme for the BBC. And in 2 weeks' time, we'll do our first international talk in the Netherlands, and that will be me, and it will be about swallow conservation there. So that was very quick. Just very quick of Team Troop, because I'm aware that everybody wants to get their hands on their own packed lunch. So how easy it is even for businesses to actually provide for house martins. Or on the left, maybe people recognize it, Morgan Buffets on the 96, a road restaurant and shop. The middle one is the Vale Hotel in 5E, and the other one is a garden centre, and it's Kellogg Bank on the 96 as well, between Inch and Huntley. And so what happened here was we noticed at Morgan Buffets back in 2019, there's all of these, the roof needed repairing and it was in a very bad state, but we knew that there were nesting house martins there, so we just approached the owner, who actually was very accommodating and actually loved the house martin nesting there. So you see what you can find actually if you take an active role. And we told him a little bit more about the house martins, because although he knew what they looked like and they built a mud nest, he didn't know anything else about them. So he agreed to do the roof repairs outside the house martin nesting season, and he also took care that the old nests were retained and they were all under the veranda there where people dine. He also asked something about what he could do about the droppings, so we gave him some advice, and that was all in hand. Quickly, the Vale Hotel in Vivey, same, most of the martins are nesting in the wooden apexes there, a few in the recessed windows. They had windows replaced last year. They did that also outside the house martin nesting seasons. They put lots of planters, as you can see here, at front to catch droppings of the house martins. And at the side where the door was, we advised them to put right high up in the apex a dropping board, which they have done. So there's no droppings where the door is for the entrance. Kellerbank, there was lots of house martins nesting on the left side where the wall went under the canopy. Unfortunately, they decided to expand and put the canopies here, so the house martins, we mentioned that they should not let the house martins have access there because there was a gap. So we've asked them to close up the gap, which they did, so the house martins are now on the other side of the building where the storage area is. So also, all of these businesses, we've produced information posters on the nesting house martins for visitors, so they actually can read about it and know a little bit more about the birds, and maybe they can take that away. So we come to Aberdeenshire schools. It also came to our attention that a lot of schools, because they were scared of health and safety issues for the droppings, willfully removed house martin and swallow nest. And because there's many rural schools, we thought to approach the environmental planning department at Aberdeenshire Council, and they produced a guidance document with support from us, which is now issued to schools with advice for nesting swallows and house martins. So what you can do as a school to actually champion these species, there's an example here, it's a Drumblade school. We're both home to house martins, a big house martin colony, about 15 nests every year, and swallows. We had custom-made dropping boards installed here, and they've also fundraised for an artificial nest, so we can put a camera in there so the children can actually see what would be going on in the nesting season. There was another bespoke custom dropping board. As you notice, they are actually installed reasonably low, so predators don't have access to the nests. And on the right, you see there was work done last May. We had a new oil tank installed, and the door was removed, and the works took a bit longer than expected. And the swallows which were nesting in the outdoor classroom the year before came back, and they thought they upgraded the accommodation to the cozy interior of the oil shed. So when the week after the builders came back and they wanted to put in the door, the swallows were busy back and forth building their nests. So they postponed the works until October 2022 and then put the door in. But as you can see, it's fitted with a louvre vent, so this can be removed this nesting season. So should the swallows prefer to nest in the oil shed again, we make sure that we remove the louvre vent and they have access to the shed. And there was actually 2 broods fledged from there, and they also built 2 nests. So they built 1 nest for 1 brood and a second nest for the second one. So that was really great. So it's very easy, the measures you can take and what you can do to actually accommodate swallows and house martins at schools, so they become also part of the curriculum and children can learn about them. And then the last one is a small mitigation project at Rijk Castle. Maybe some of you know that the castle is now in scaffolding and netting, and this is because of the Pink Again project. There's now house martins where it was nesting on Rijk Castle in the recessed windows. They will not have access this year because the works will not be finished until early 2024. So the National Trust for Scotland asked us what they could possibly do for the house martins. First they looked at where there are some windows they could regain access to, but that didn't seem to be possible. So we suggested that a house martin nesting tower would be an option. These are very popular on the continent and in use since the 90s, and definitely in Belgium, the Netherlands and in Germany. As far as we know, this is the first one which is being installed in Scotland. So again, this is also a community project because the Chroma Future Group, which is an educational charity, they have an electronic group, and the children there, they provided a call system for the House Martin Tower, as well as with Swift. We do the same for House Martins, so they will come and check their new accommodation out, and we'll hope that they will take up the nesting in here this year. We also have the monitoring of the netting is an issue because the birds might try to get back to the old nest site, so that they do not get entangled in the netting. So there will have to be a system in place for that. So yes, we're very proud of this. This is our first big House Martin project. And then very quickly, since a few years we have we've given it the name the Swift Taxi. But it is also available for injured and orphaned swallows and house martins. And we work in collaboration with the NESBReC because it's such a big area. They often get a call, they could be from Nairn, and somebody finds an injured swift. But the NESBReC says as well they have limited availability as well for pickup. So we've had a list of volunteers, isn't it? Karin's done a Google map, so we've asked people to sign up if you're willing to do this. So you might get a call if there is an injured or orphaned aviator, and with that is everybody does a small stretch of the journey. That way the injured aviator can be transported really quickly, or swift as you like, to the NESBReC to get treated, because it's very important they get admitted as soon as possible, and which causes obviously the least amount of stress. Yeah. So rest me to say thank you very much for listening, and if you're interested in any of our projects, come and talk to us. Also, if you would like to sign up for the newsletter or the Swift Taxi, please come and see us at the info stand in a minute, and here are our contact details. Thank you very much.
Any questions?